Big Cellos. This is a lesson video for your song Ode to Joy. This was originally going to be one of our spring concert songs, but this is also in your book. It's number 88 in Essential Elements. And I'm just going to take this one step at a time, one measure at a time with you today, so then eventually you can play it all the way through without stopping. Okay, so here we go. Again, you can be looking in your book, or you can use the kind of just blown up bigger version that was in your concert music packet. Line 1, measure 1, here we go. We're going to start on our F sharp, so third finger. You're going to play 2 of those guys, and then you're just going to go up your D scale a little bit, G, and then up to your open A string. So let's just start with those first 4 notes. Here we go. F sharp, 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, so just easy mini scale. Next measure, measure 2, we're going to stay on that open A, repeat that A, and we're going to walk ourselves back down those D scale notes. So A, down to G, F sharp, E. There you go. And now measure 3, we've got 2 open Ds, and we're going to go back up the scale one more time, and then finish off with 2 half notes going back down. So here's measure 3 and 4 of line 1, again open D. So what you basically have for line 1 is a mini scale going up, mini scale going down, and then even more mini scale going back up and down a note again. So you're just basically following like a little wave pattern in scales, no skipping notes at all. So go back over any of those measures if you need to double check some of that. But when you're ready, let's play that whole first line together without stopping. Okay, F sharp, third finger, here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, and as you can see during that open A, I don't lift my fingers very far off the strings because I'm going to come right back to my 4th finger G. Keep those fingers really close or even down, making a tunnel so that you don't have to worry about trying to find that G. Okay, line 2 is almost exactly the same as line 1. It's super easy. So same part with quarter notes going up a scale, down a scale, back up, but just the last measure, those 2 half notes, those are the only different notes. You have an E and a D instead of the F sharp E. So let's try line 2 without stopping. Here we go, starting again on F sharp. 1, 2, F sharp, here we go. Down E, open D. All right, so at this point, what I would do is I'd pause this video, go back to the beginning, and see if you can play line 1 and line 2 without stopping. All right, so now we're on to line 3. Now line 3, we're using combinations of half notes, quarter notes, and eighth notes in this line. So a couple different rhythm patterns. Let's again just break it down small. We're going to start with just the first measure of line 3. We're going to have an E half note, so 2 beats on an E, then F sharp, and then lift them all up for an open D. Let's try that. Here's measure 9. It's the first measure of line 3 on an E. Ready, and E, F sharp, D. All right, let's do it one more time together. Ready, and half note, F sharp, D. Okay, do that as many times as you need to. And now the next measure, we're going to do a blueberry muffin rhythm. We're going to start with the blueberry, and it's just a scale going up. You're going to go E, F sharp, G. Let's try that. Ready, and blueberry. Again, make sure the F sharp and G are fast enough. Try it again. Ready, play. And now for the muffin part, you're going to return to your F sharp, so lift up your 4, and then lift all your fingers up for open D. So again, that whole measure will sound like this. Now, if that's giving you troubles, try to break it down. Just do the 2 eighth notes, the F sharp, G, and then back to the F sharp, that little turnaround. Do that a couple times until you can get that little 4-3-4-3 pattern, and then maybe try just the blueberry, and then just maybe the muffin part until you can do that whole measure. Now, all that work on that measure is going to pay off because the next measure is almost again exactly the same. Just the last note is going to be an E instead of an open D. So let's try measure 3 of line 3. Again, starting with your blueberry. And then E. So instead of lifting all up to open D, just leave that E down. All right, we have one more measure of this line, and it's not too bad. We're just going to do a D, E, and then open A. All right, so again, this line is the hardest one, I think, out of this entire song. So take a couple minutes, go back, try a couple of those measures by yourself, do it a couple times through, and when you're ready, let's try this whole third line without stopping now. All right, so here's your E. Make sure you hold this for 2 beats. Don't get ahead of me. 1, 2, line 3. Here we go. 1, 2. All right, now if you can do that, the hard work is over because the last line of the song is exactly the same as line 2. You know the whole song now. So just to wrap it up, let's do the last line. Here we go, F sharp, same as line 2. Ready, and... Okay, so now go back to any part that you need some extra practice on, see if anything needs to be broken down into smaller pieces. But when you're ready, let's try this whole song all the way through without stopping now. So here's the very beginning, starting on your F sharp. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and play. So if you made it all the way through, congratulations. Great, great job. Now, one other thing that I find is a little difficult for students when you're first learning these songs that have multiple lines is not getting lost when you end one line and you're supposed to start the next one, not stopping or pausing in between. So what you kind of have to do when you're reading music is, even though you're playing the last note of, say, the first line, that E, your eyes have to jump ahead so you know what's coming up next, that F sharp is happening on line 2. So that takes some practice, being able to be doing one thing, playing one note, and having your eyes already on the next part so you know what the next note is. So practice perhaps just doing the very last measure of line 1 and the first measure of line 2, just those two guys to get your eyes to jump back and forth between those two lines. Same thing on the next part, same thing on the last part, and then that's going to make it easier to play the song through without having to stop or pause. Sorry for the bounciness. Oliver, my cat, just jumped up on the table. All right, well, as always, if you need any extra help or anything is confusing, please email me or Mrs. Schmidt. We'd be happy to do a video lesson with you. Otherwise, enjoy learning how to play Ode to Joy.